All righty. Hello, everyone, and welcome to week of the spring semester, week 11. Week 11. Okay, I should just keep track of it. It's posted on every single class page I have, which week it is, but alas. But yeah, we are officially more than 2/3 of the way, I guess, through the semester. That's not exactly true. We're close though. Yeah, that also means we're starting to get into project season. All of you who have final projects and stuff, you have those to look forward to, in addition to your second and third midterms, but we'll get through it. Yeah, first thing I wanted to go over was t-shirts. You guys are all doing a great job with these. We are currently up to a total of 41 t-shirt orders, which is way more than I ever expected. I really do. So I want to thank you guys for that, for supporting the club and all that, and getting your folks and family to support it as well. But yeah, we're doing great. So far, we're going to get a gross total of just over $1,000 for all these shirts. The main thing that I want to bring up to you guys is not a lot of people have paid yet. I know you can see here who has paid, who hasn't. But the bank, we need to get enough funds in the actual bank accounts that we can make the purchase of the t-shirts. I think we have enough now, but it'll leave us at like $0 in the bank account. So I want to make sure there's a little bit of a cushion there. I know a lot of you paid with cash as well, so we can get that squared away as well. By the way, Anthony, I went to the bank and I got the bank account info figured out. Apparently, yeah. So yeah, what happens was if you don't log into the account for a while, it just removes your ability to log in. And so I had to go to the bank and get them to reactivate it. It was annoying as heck. We got that done. But yeah, so I'm actually going to show you guys the price. If we were to buy these 41 t-shirts as they are in the spreadsheet right here, each shirt would cost a total of $19.86, which means we're making over $5 on each shirt. So that is around $230 profit for the club. So again, I want to thank you guys a lot for that, because this is directly supporting club funds, which is of course going to go back to supporting you guys. So I want to thank you all for that. You guys are doing a great job.
How's the fundraising?
How's the fundraising going? Yeah, so I have, I'm drafting an email that we can send out to all those businesses. Then I'm probably going to assign some people to follow up with those businesses. In fact, we have that list of businesses, as I have it, written down somewhere in my endless sea of folders in Google Drive. So here's a list that we that preliminary list that we had come up with. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write up basically a draft, either email or script that we can ask each of these businesses for, and then I'm probably going to assign some of the club officers businesses to reach out to, so that we can try and get some of that. I'll probably try to get that to you guys later this week, so that we can think about starting to do that next week. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
All right, that works for me. Cool. But yeah, the big story right now is the severe weather that's happening down south right now. We've been following a lot in Discord, but yeah, this big old moderate risk covering basically the entire lower Mississippi River Valley. Pretty intense, especially for this time of year. We're only just starting severe weather season for most parts of the country. So it's pretty cool to see this all unfolding right now. We also had some severe weather yesterday, not too much, but we did see a few confirmed tornado reports, one in Texas and a couple over here in the Kansas City area. As far as I know, these weren't too severe. I don't think much damage was reported, but cool nonetheless. And then here are the reports as of right now. For today, you can already see that there have been quite a few tornadoes in Louisiana and Mississippi. Kind of look at the radar here. It's a bit less defined than what it was earlier when I was looking at it. But what you'll see, of course, is that there's this big linear line of storms, basically spanning the cold front of this shortwave low pressure that's kind of in here-ish. But yeah, we've talked about this before, but you can see that it's not just a straight line of storms. You do see it kind of bowing out in places. As I've talked about before, this is what's called a bow echo, and it's often associated with very strong linear convective systems. And they are indicative of very high winds. And additionally, what I told you guys is in the places between these bows, what you're going to find is that there's going to be some enhanced vorticity in those regions. So that's where you're going to see some tornadoes. And indeed, if I go to the Memphis radar, again, it's a bit more well-defined. before it's moved on when I was looking at it a couple hours ago. But this little area here, the bow kind of comes down here and then comes down here as well. And so there were a couple tornado warnings right in this little area, which is exactly where you would expect them to be. Of course, there's also just tornado warnings just down this entire line. What you'll see is that this environment was just generally very good for tornado development, even though it wasn't exactly super cellular. Here's another radar view. I don't know what the university Wi-Fi is doing right now. I cannot get these radars to load. I don't think it's quite that serious, but yeah, I don't know if I'm going to get the radar to load here on this website. It's not that this website is great anyway for that, but yeah. So I can kind of show you guys what the models are saying. Just kind of give you an idea of what kind of environment is down there right now. The first thing we're going to look at, this is the HER run from a few hours ago, but the first thing you're going to want to look at here is at 700 millibars and also at 850. What you're going to see is this extremely strong low to mid-level jet that's basically running directly north-south along this front. This is obviously associated with very high winds, and because of all the storms going down, all these winds are going to mix very easily down at the surface. And so we're going to be seeing a lot of very high wind reports with this system. It's going to be very windy, and that is of course characteristic of many linear systems as well. You can kind of look at the surface here in the mesoscale discussion, and all the watches and stuff have been talking about this. But dew points have been very good for this environment. You can see, mid to upper 60s in many parts of this region. Obviously, this Mississippi area has plenty of moisture, and even reaching up into Arkansas and Missouri, where I think there have been a couple warm storms as well. I don't know if they've been confirmed yet, but yeah, very high dew points as well. And then we can look at some of the severe products to kind of see what's going on here. In particular, I do want to point out, I'm going to zoom in here. I'm going to zoom in to the Southern Valley, just kind of show you guys. But yeah, one of the things that was very interesting to me is that despite the linear mode of the storm, what you can see is that these photographs are very sickle shaped, almost exactly the kind of things that you would want to see if you were hunting for tornado development. And so what these sickle-shaped photographs are indicating is that there's going to be plenty of rotation in the lower and mid levels, and so that's going to be conducive for tornado development, even though it's not necessarily going to be a supercell environment. The reason we don't see supercells is if we look at, let's see, what product am I looking for here? I know there was that one product that shows you shear vectors, but I think that's only available for Pivotal Plus. Let's see. There's this. Are these the shear vectors, or is this just wind? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can see there's plenty of just bulk shear in general. But what you want to look for supercell development in particular is you want to see these shear vectors mostly parallel to the front. And what you can see is as this, yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry, perpendicular to the front. If the front is mostly meridianal, you want to see these mostly zonal. And that's not exactly what you see here. They're kind of mixed. It's kind of ambiguous, but given that this is driven mostly by a cold front, which is itself driven by a shortwave trough, the mode of these storms is not going to be discrete or cellular in nature. It's going to be a linear storm, and of course that is exactly what we see on the radar. It's just big line of storms moving through the region.
Go to SPC sounding.
SPC soundings.
Soundings because they have girls down there launching soundings. We could do, let's see, we do that last one, 21 UTCs.
Look that up.
Looks like it, oh, I moved through.
Okay.
So that one, that's mixed out, so that one's good in there for you. That's somewhere in Ohio.
Oh,
Go
goodness.
back to 16. Or that one there, whatever one you're on here.
Let's look at this one.
And just click on the stars. Yeah, there's your answer there as to what's going on. That's in Jackson, right?
Yeah, this is the Jackson, Mississippi.
You got ample amount of shear, but you're still capped. Well, you're not really capped, but you don't have enough cape to go around. I think it was either really cloudy there all day or.
Yes, that was the main thing, is it was only going to be mixed heating because
So there's no low level moisture there, pretty much keep it more cape that could be used, as you can tell, because it looks like you got a pretty deep cloud layer, about 875 to 675, maybe. It looks like there's pretty good clouds there.
yeah.
And not a lot of an elevated mix layer either, so that does not screen. There was a tornado that did move through here, like an hour ago.
I think I saw that.
Maybe there's not enough cape. Is the parcel line the dotted one, or is it the blue?
Yes, this is the parcel line right here, and then this is the temperature line, and so you can see the difference between the parcel temperature and the
So-
actual temperature.
Yeah, when that thing was launched, it had 681 surface cape and 518 mix layer. That's really not a lot.
Yeah,
What constitutes as a lot?
You really want 1,000 to 1,500 mix layer or more than 1,000. Surface, you want 1,000 plus. If you have surface, you really want 1,500, 2,000, 2,500. But I've seen tomatoes at 1,000. I've seen them lower than that, but really.
But this still constitutes a severe storm, right?
Yeah, I believe that.
oh, for sure.
This
So
is,
then the photograph though, it's curved, you said there was a tornado produced by this?
went right over Jackson.
Yeah, and so that's the main thing that you want to look out for, is that even though, this isn't a very high cape environment, they were at one point discussing that the possibility of 1,000, 1,500 surface-based cape. That obviously didn't end up coming to fruition. But this environment, what'd you say?
Click on one of the Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that one, well, that one looked like it, they'll pop in the air or something like that.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looks like.
Because that looked like some old alleys. That one there's not very good. Yeah, go to the southern one, Louisiana. There's a little bit more cape there.
Yeah.
Not so good of a photograph. I'm trying to see if that's.
The line is really blurring for me for just the, like, to be able to tell when it's a kind of, I don't know, because it's supposed to be like all curved and stuff, and the ones I was looking at, they aren't necessarily very easy to tell.
With the photograph?
Yeah, it's just, I guess, obviously, it's just not textbook.
It really depends on the photograph. You have streamlines, crosswise, or distance. With streamlines, you just basically just parallel, or not parallel, perpendicular to. That one looks kind of like streamlines, so I don't know a whole lot about that. I just know kind of what they are, but I haven't really dug into a whole lot of what actually goes on. I know that the streamlines is perpendicular to what's going on, and crosswise is parallel, or it could be flipped. It's one of the two. I don't remember off the top of my head, but there are a lot of instances out there right now that really cover streamlines versus crosswise. But if you want streamlines, you don't want crosswise. Crosswise will kill the streamlines.
So the biggest things that stand out to you when you're looking at the soundings, obviously, case of like what
Okay, surface 2 points there. Those look like what, 60?
67 right here.
That's pretty good. So
Yeah.
you want that. You really don't want. You want an elevated mix layer. So you want theoretically, you do want something like this. But then you want your dew point to start begin to veering out, where they're getting colder with height, or being less moist. So that way, you've got a really deep layer here. There's moisture, but there's not a lot of moisture. You're not going to have clouds. It's going to be sunny. You're going to be fine. And here, theoretically, with your, this really isn't bad for cape. That's pretty good. So I would look for something like this. Over here, you want these to veer with height. So you really theoretically want this.
Is that mapping or the other thing? What is that?
Veering
You
is,
want it to be here.
veering is clockwise. And so you really want the surface to be more southeasterly, theoretically right there.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe a little bit stronger. These right here, 50 knots, is pretty good for low level jet.
Yes.
And then you can also go down here and see, you really want this 3 cape to be above 90. At 65 is okay, but that just means 0 to 3 kilometer cape. So basically this much cape in the lower levels. Not a lot here because there wasn't a lot of instability going on today, so that really wasn't it. These, if you like SRH, go for it. SRH to me, I like it. I don't hate it.
That means surface relative helicity, by the way.
storm elements.
Oh,
But really all this is how fast is it turning? Once this parcel gets up there, how fast is it turning? Going into the storm. So basically 203 meters squared over a second squared is pretty fast. And they actually were talking about today, there being 600 to 800 SRH, which that does not happen too often. Don't know if that came to fruition, maybe it won't more than here. You really want the elapsed rates to be about 8 degrees or higher. 7 is pretty good. If they hit 8 degrees, then you're really looking good. These here, they're kind of weak, so that's why there's not a lot of hail today. Because basically this is just telling you how much is temperature changing with height. So if it changes 6 degrees, you know, it's not really getting that much colder as you go up compared to 2 more degrees, which really makes a difference. As far as that goes, this here, if you really want to know how fast it's moving, looks like it's moving 218 degrees at 33 knots, which that's actually a pretty good speed compared to some of the other storm motion vectors I've seen today that were like 69 knots and 70 knots. And then here, yeah, you want this a little bit more single shape, but that's not too bad really, as far as your photograph goes. But you know, it's every case is different. All these they should have passed through. That one's sorry.
back to Jackson.
Well, that's cap, that's not really anything. That's really mixed out. That everything just went through there. That's nothing. Not really a lot of good examples. Maybe yesterday. No.
Last week, there's some good.
Yeah, to go back to last week, it takes a little bit more work. Because they only have like a 3-day thing here, and then they go to their archive site. And I always forget how to get to the archive site because I don't remember very well. But this one here is not bad, and this is for Oklahoma or Norman, but it's really capped. So they didn't have a lot of action down there yesterday. Most of it was up here.
Right.
So this here isn't bad. They had tornadoes in this area.
Kansas City area, yeah.
There's at least one confirmed EF1. Yeah, looking at this one isn't too bad. It's kind of what you would want to see if you're out there. Photograph kind of sucks, but you still have this kind of still turning here, which is what you really, really like. Low level jet here is not very good, but that still doesn't matter. Just straight this area produced right around this time, maybe a little after. It actually came to St. Joseph. There's just not a lot of good examples from yesterday. I don't think I could get to. That last one? That broke. See, everything went through there. Well, that's a funky looking one from last week. Kind of explains to what was going on last week. I'm not sure if this one's actually, it's observed, but that's really whack. We had really strong low winds last week. Actually. All right, so New Orleans tornado last week. We have 2,300 plus surface cape, 1,500 mixed layer cape, perfect amount of cape there. We got very good during with height here, pretty strong low level jet here with 55 knots, 50 knots, 40 knots. That's very sufficient. They were actually talking today about having 70 plus knot low level jet, which would have been really impressive. But this here, that's a pretty good photograph that we would like to see, a little curvy. Could be better, could be worse. That's okay. And then I don't use this too often, but that just kind of explains how volatile this environment was, that it pretty much puts it right in the middle of EF5, or EF4 plus tornado. I think it ended up creating high in EF3, I think. But yeah, and so we're talking about 3K 122, perfect. Lapse rates still weren't crazy, not a lot of hail on this thing. Then we have some really good SRH from that whole thing. But really, this was one last week that was really good to kind of look at real time, and then we can go back and analyze it now. There's a lot to these. Obviously, I don't know everything. I just look at them and see what I like. Go from there. A whole lot of these things I don't know a whole lot about. I don't know what they are, but I don't ever use them. But yeah, this was a good example from last week. And if you want to learn more, there are a lot of tutorials online about what to look for, what you want, what you need to do. And this one here was 74 over 71, and you pretty much got some ground huggers. That's on the ground, so it's really easy to get tornado when you have LCLs that low. So I think I'll stop there. It's totally fine. If you guys have questions, then we can talk some more.
Nice lapse rate because of the really strong currents.
Well, lapse rates are mainly how it cools with height. So I don't have a good lapse rate here. So basically, if your temperature is going and it starts cooling more, basically what then happens is your temperature changes with height, and so as your particles fall, your updraft catches your raindrops, pulls them back up, they freeze again, get another layer, they fall, freeze again, get another layer. But yes, it could have to do with the updraft a little bit, but theoretically, it's just all it really is the changing with temperature with height.
Yeah, basically the lapse rate is going to tell you how your parcel is going to behave as it's going up. Basically, the steeper the lapse rate being up, the more oomph that lifting is going to have. So, and obviously, the colder it is up there, the more hail you're going to get as it's colder. And so that's the kind of thing you would want to look out for there. What I will say is that a lot of these sounding indices, well, not a lot of them, but at least some of them you will learn in either dynamic or not. I'm not sure. Dynamic one?
Static looks like it too.
Okay.
But dynamic one, we really dive into why they look really good.
Yeah, there you'll be, I think, actually calculating by hand at least a few of these indices.
Yes.
Not all of them. You're not going to calculate Kate, for example. That's a bit much, but
yeah, so. But yeah, typically, theoretically, you are correct. If there are higher values, chances are you do have a lot more of an intense updraft going on. Right. But for book definition, it's all about changing the temperature with height. It's never going to be negative. Keep that in mind. It will never be a negative lapse rate.
not in the troposphere. In the stratosphere, of course, that is defined by a negative lapse rate, of course, caused by the ozone layer.
Oh, yeah, all right. Any other questions? Anybody else wants to?
Thank you, Anthony, for that. But yeah, that just kind of goes to show you about how, different kind of environments are going to produce different types of storms and different modes of storms. But yeah, you don't have to have a picturesque, perfect sounding every time to get some tornadoes. And in fact, this kind of environment, there's not a lot of Cape at all, but these photographs look extremely good. And this, the winds, with height is very good, a very good environment for that kind of rotation. So we do see a lot of tornado warned storms today, even though, they're not going to be supercell in nature. But yeah, that's kind of the lowdown of what's going on down south. Of course, all that we've been getting is cold rain. That's the prerogative here for the Midwest. But yeah, I guess now I want to talk about, you're good? I guess now I want to talk about the conference. I believe everyone who registered for the conference should have gotten this email today. It's talking mainly about the radar workshop, but it also has the entire agenda for the conference attached. And so this is something that you can look at if you want to see all of the finalized presentations that are going to be going on for the next 3 days. But yeah. So first of all, they're telling you to download GR. If you want to do the radar workshop, which is the very first activity tomorrow at 1 o'clock, you need to bring your own computer and you need to install GR either V2 or V3 before you get there, or I guess you can do it there as well. But
it said if you can't figure out how to download it, they have like a thing right before the workshop. And if you can't download it, you can just plug it up.
yes, that's also true.
Yeah, if you get stuck, just let me know, I'll download it, it's like 10 times, so.
Is it very computer?
What?
Is it very computer? No.
I mean, if you want it, GR2 is actually $250. 25.
Yeah.
Wait, so anyways, it's a 21-day period free. Does it automatically stop? Like get off the computer?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that install is just, it stops working after 21 days. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, you can, it'll still, the program will still on your computer, you won't no longer get any upgrades.
Yeah, the thing you'd be purchasing is the registration or the software key. But they're going to be giving you a free one at the conference, although I don't think we'll need it because of the 21-day trial. But yeah, so that kind of information is in these 2 documents, I think on the Google Drive
They
as
have the
well.
orange and stuff in there too.
Do you have the what?
The orange and copper.
Yeah, so they tell you to download WarnGen and the color tables for. Let's see.
They actually, they got some kind of.
Let's see, it looks like they have a GR2 tutorial.
You want to.
If that's what.
How is this casual as business casual?
I'm sure there will be people in jeans, but.
Yeah, there will be people there in jeans. You won't be totally stood out with jeans, but yeah, just nicer clothes than jeans and a t-shirt like I wear 100% of the time.
Or
You know.
made, so it's.
Exactly. You know,
I'm more worried about footwear than.
I think footwear is the least important part of business casual, just like anything that isn't sneakers.
What about boots? How big is this like area?
What do you mean?
Like how big is the building? Like, I know it's obviously attached to the hotel.
I mean, it is just a conference center. I don't know if you've ever been inside a hotel with an attached conference center, but I can actually show you where this is in case you don't know. Oh goodness, why is it doing this? Okay, so the actual place that we're going to is the Courtyard by Marriott in Ankeny. It's literally right off the highway, so your GPS will take you right here. But yeah, the hotel is both where we're staying and where the conference is, and so you literally just walk down from the room. I think probably this section right here is going to be where the conference center is. But yeah, it'll just be a bunch of big ballrooms that are going to be split up for different things. Actually, because this is a kind of everything's happening at once, there may not actually be splits at all.
It should just be.
It should just be the big room.
Actually,
So yeah,
no, that's AMS. This here is gonna be very simple.
yeah, there'll be a few rooms because there's probably going to be a sponsor room.
There will be a vendor area.
There's going to be a vendor area,
I
and
really think.
there'll
Is there a footwear around here? Is it common? Okay, I'm wondering what we're gonna do after 5.
it's Des Moines Metro. There's plenty of food.
It's so Des Moines.
I don't know about you guys, but AKA screams Casey's.
Believe it or not, I don't think.
Oh, wait, okay, there's Casey's right there.
Yeah, we can go to Casey's. It's the closest restaurant to the hotel. So guys, we're going to be doing Casey's every night.
No, I can't do that, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fair. No, but it's Des Moines Metro. There's going to be any restaurant that you want. All right, no.
That will also.
No, yeah, check them out. We don't even like here. We don't even say, you just check
I don't
them
care.
out.
So what do you do if you did get an email?
What'd you say?
What do you do if you didn't get an email?
I will just forward it to you so that you have it.
I registered on Monday night.
Yeah, they might not have gotten you on the email list in time. I can just forward that to you. It's not a big deal. There's no specialized information there. But yeah, so then you can see the entire agenda of the conference. Registration is at noon, and Google Maps pegs this as a journey about 3.5 hours long. And so I would say you guys probably don't want to leave too much later than 8. I would probably be leaving around 7:30.
I was gonna leave around 7.
So we're not aiming all of this, like, we're not meeting up and be like, okay, we're gonna.
We can, let's go.
That's not-
not gonna eat what you get.
That's also true. So yeah, I would say, yeah, 7:30, late, 8 o'clock at the latest, because it is gonna be 3.5 hour drive. You have a question?
Yeah, I just gotta figure out who carpool with, because I do not have a car.
Yeah, I'll coordinate with that with you as well. I'm pretty sure what's gonna be happening is, I'm taking you two, and then Anthony's probably gonna drive you. You guys work that out?
I don't know what Brandon's doing.
I just know it's being really fixed.
I don't know what Brandon's doing. I gotta go back to the I'm not.
So yeah, I'm driving, Anthony's driving, so. Huh? I appreciate that. Thank you. That's so kind. In this room? Yes. Yeah, she's doing outreach with Dr. Finch, so you can't be mad at her. She's spreading the name of the club, informing the public. So don't be mad at Jen. Is it like an Earth Day thing? Is that what it is? Or is it Farm Team Day? It's Earth Day. She is presenting at an Earth Day thing, I think, at the high school. What do you mean? Are you asking when Earth Day is? April 22nd. That is Earth Day. But apparently they're celebrating a month early. Regardless, yes. So we are going to be going to the conference. Registration is at 12. So yeah, that's when you want to
Wait, so we
leave.
have to register again?
No, it's just like you go to the table and say, this is me. And you get that.
Oh.
Can we just, you say your name right after?
Yeah.
I thought we have to show them.
You can do whatever you want with the sticker. It's yours to keep. A lot of people like to keep those as souvenirs. My supervisor at the GIS Center, whenever he goes to an logistic conference, he always keeps the ribbons that they give him. So they give ribbons to attach to your name tag for each thing you're doing. So he has like speaker, volunteer, professional member. It's like he loves collecting those. But yeah, and then yeah, this entire document just outlines every single presentation that's going to be going on throughout each day. Thursday is going to start out with the workshop, and then there's going to be a few severe weather talks, and then there's going to be the poster reception. I don't know. Do we usually go to that?
I'm not going to that.
Because we don't have any posters there. This might be a decent networking opportunity depending on who's there, but otherwise.
Poster is not a meeting as in like something.
Poster as in like you create something, like have you ever seen like a project poster, like a research project poster? There's tons of them out there that you can look at, but that kind of thing. Yeah, but yeah.
So when that's not happening, like we don't, we just save anything, right? Like we were just talking about.
I would say that again. I'm sorry.
We were just talking about, we like sit there. Is that
What do you ask?
What do you mean?
You go to different sessions, like you should have, you take what you want.
So, yeah.
They told you.
So what's happening is a bunch of people are going to be giving presentations one after the other in the main room. And so you can be present in that room to listen to them talk by sitting down and listening to them for as many of them as you want to. And so you can see this agenda and you can see like, oh, well, I really want to go to this one after that. I might not want to go to use that to like take a bathroom break or something. But yeah, you just like literally, I recommend you just go through this list for each of the 3 days and try to look at which ones interest you, which ones you think you might want to attend. And then in addition to this entire agenda, the last 2/3 of this document is abstracts of all of at least the major presentations. There are a couple like small ones that might not have something like this, but like literally every single presentation in order is just going to have a summary written by the person presenting, so you can get an idea of what kind of thing you want to do. But yeah. Yeah, that was conference registration. What? Yes, the hotel has a pool. If you guys want to pool it up, you guys can do that. I want to warn you guys that it'll probably be like a little bit rainy or snowy when we leave. So just keep that in mind.
And there's a chance of rain Saturday.
Yes.
In Ankeny.
Ankeny.
I'm just gonna say Ankeny the whole time.
I'm gonna have to choose.
Also, pro tip, gas is about 50 cents cheaper in Iowa than it is in Illinois. So fill up only to what you need to get to Burlington and then fill up there. That's what I'm gonna be doing. Because they don't have a gas tax in Iowa, so.
I was gonna like it on, so I said all the way.
But yeah, so regarding carpool, I know you three are going together and then you three wanted rides, right?
Okay.
I mean, you said you can drive yourself, but you prefer carpool. So would it be okay then if Anthony brought you?
I mean, I don't care, I mean, that's up to him, if he wants to drive, because that's driver, freaking close.
Is
He's
that
the
okay?
same driver. He got.
Hi, Anthony was great. He was only unsafe when we were like checking the radar and, you know, the reports of trillion times a second, but
Other than that.
How often was I on my road?
not that often. You were fine. Huh?
That was high pitched, that was a lot.
That was not a lie. Anthony was a great driver. I trusted him 100%. But yeah, so then I guess I'll take you two. So are you guys able to meet at Tillman Hall like around 7 o'clock tomorrow?
Here?
Yeah, like at Tillman Hall, or I can pick you guys up. You guys both live in the same dorm.
Yeah, we live in Lincoln 10.
All right, that'll work then. So I can come to Lincoln, whichever parking lot's there. Wow.
No, Washington.
Thompson? No. So yeah, I'll pick you two up then. I'll text you guys when I'm about to pick you up, and that'll work. But yeah, I think
Came to be up front and stuff.
Yeah.
we have 3 rooms, so those 3 are gonna share a room, and then I think it's gonna be us 3 and you 2.
Okay, with that.
You think I think that's the arrangement?
Yeah.
All right.
No, we have no single king bed, so.
Single king beds. Let's go. All right.
I'll be sitting on the pull-out couch. I slept in a chair when I was growing up.
I don't like you like that.
I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, so that's all I wanted to talk about. We got through severe weather. I think we have all the conference detail ironed out. I think this is going to be a great time for those of you who are going. And again, I appreciate you for doing the outreach with Dr. Finch.
Yeah.
So excited.
But if there are no other questions, comments, or concerns, then I'm good with ending it there. You need some sleep. You need some sleep. You're always so tired. But yeah, if you guys don't have any other questions, then I'm going to adjourn it here. Thank you guys for coming. And I'll see you guys next week. Thank you for coming, Anna.